Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis in the state of Tennessee in the county sheriff. Today is date early Sunday morning, July the 31st, 2016 time, 4:50 a.m. First, I thank all my fans, my support, for all the continued encouragement support. I continue to keep myself employed right here in this tri-state area. I continue to further my education, moral college, online, pursuing my social media study, business administration, concentration, marketing. The music you hear in the background is an internet radio.com, and that's African hip hop. African hip hop. And, in today's video, we're going to continue to talk about uh, African traditional religion. African traditional religion is being taught in institutions of higher learning, colleges, universities in sub-Saharan Africa. You can earn a bachelor's degree, you can earn a master's degree, you can earn a PhD. African traditional religion. Where sub-Saharan Africa? So let's get the map. Okay, this is the map. Now this is a language map, but it's a map that shows you the continent of Africa, and it shows you the language distribution on the map, but it gives you a view of sub-Saharan Africa. Now, as you can see, the blue, that's the Afro-Asiatic, the yellow, Nilo-Saharan. Now, the dark orange color, Niger Congo, and you see a little light orange, that's the light orange, that's Niger Congo, that's the Bantu, Niger Congo B. Now, this is the other part of the continent of Africa. And you see the language code, it shows you the color B, the blue color is Afro-Asiatic, the yellow color is a Nilo-Saharan, the dark orange color, Niger Congo A, the light orange color is Niger Congo B, the Bantu. Now that green color, that's the Khoi and the San. They say it's written as Khoi San, but those are two groups of people, the Khoi and the San. And the lavender purple looking color over there on the island of Madagascar, that's the Austronesian. Now you know the Austronesians are the people that came from Indonesia, and they colonized and settled in Madagascar. And this is another Niger Congo language map. It still shows you the sub-Saharan Africa. Now this map is a Niger Congo land. The primary branch of Volta Congo, named South Volta. Bantu, Bantoid beside Bantu, your other East Benue Congo, your West Benue Congo, and your Quay. Then you have your North Volta, Kru, Sanufo, Gur, your Volta languages, your Adamantwe, Ubunjian languages. Then you have your other primary branches, your Kordofan, your Mandi, your Atlantic, and your Dogon. Now down, Dogon is down at the bottom, but when I copied this map off the computer, off the printer, the bottom part of it didn't copy off. But down at the bottom, that's the Dogon. Now this is another Niger Congo map that shows the sub-Saharan Africa. Now you have your Atlantic branch, Wolof and Fulani, your Mandi, Bambari, Mandingo, Dayule, your Kru, your Gur, they speak Mori, your Quay, Bali, Akan, and Iwi, your Dogon, your Ajoy, your Adamantwe, Ubunjian, Jabaye, Banda, and Zandi. Then you have your Kordofanian. Then you have your non-Bantoid, Yoruba and Igbo. Then you have your Bantoid, Fang, Tiki, Lingale, Mungo, and Kundu, Congo, Choki, Lobe, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Sukume, and Kikuyu. Then you have your Bantu, Swahili, Bakuwe, and Yanji, Bimbe, Shone, Tesange, Northern Soto, Zulu, Southern Soto, Kosa, Tiswane, and Dungo, and Dunge, and Umbundu. Those are some of the Niger Congo. There are many. There are many other Niger Congo, and they all fall under those categories. Just want to take a few minutes here, not long. We need to get, we had this issue, this street gang, drug gang, just gang period. Get in contact with the Niger Congo in sub-Saharan Africa. Get them informed about the street gang, the drug gang in Chicago, Illinois, in Los Angeles, California, and anywhere else uh, in this Western Hemisphere, whether it be Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and anywhere else around this planet. Get in contact with the Niger Congo in sub-Saharan Africa and get them informed. It's very important. Another thing I want to say some comment on, very positive information. I was watching the Voice of America, Africa 54, and they was doing some very positive things in Washington D.C. and the U.S. government was trying to stop terrorist finance, trying to stop these terrorist organizations and groups from being able to raise finances, being able to have financial support, and because, for instance, what they've been showing, drugs is one way that they are trying to raise money, and Another way they try to raise money is through artwork, like paintings, sculptures, um, and other artwork, things in their drawings, things in nature, and they'll take these artworks, irregardless, it can be something that's been dug up out the ground, some antiquities, and things that should be in a museum. They'll take them and try to sell them, and then use the money to support their terrorist activities, and such as what happened this week. It's been another explosion in Somalia, and matter of fact, in the capital, Mogadishu, and see, so that's another, so that's a reason why that's a good reason for the U.S. government to make sure that they stop these terrorists from being able to get financial support, because you have individuals who try to act like they're a problem when they really not a problem. But when you have to stop them from getting further along, and then you have to then the governments have to use resources to get rid of the terrorists. So what you had to do is make sure you stop them before they get any further, because they shouldn't have got this far. But eventually they'll be stopped. But yeah, instead of letting it get too far gone, you let things just get so far gone that it becomes a not saying it's a problem, but it's an issue that has to be dealt with. And then when you have to deal with it, it takes a lot of resources, not just human, but not just the finance, but you have to actually put people who are military trained. You have to actually put them in a position where they have to go and get rid of these people. And it got to the point where they didn't grow so large, where it'll take a lot of resources to deal with them. So we're glad that the U.S. government is doing something about terrorist organizations and who try to use illegal means to support their activities. Now we're gonna get to our reading on African traditional religion. We're gonna continue our reading, and we're gonna be reading from the book titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Omasede Ebalelu and Dr. P. Adelumo Dopemu. We're going to continue to read from the introduction. Paganism is from the Latin word pagamus, meaning a village dweller or a countryman. It also means a person who is removed from a civilized community or who lives in an unenlightened environment. The word then, like heathenism, is a sociological term to distinguish between the enlightened or civilized and the unenlightened or the backward. But throughout the ages, the word paganism has been used to describe the religion of the so-called primitive people of the world. The dictionary defines pagan as non-Christian, heathen, or acknowledging neither Jehovah, Christ, nor Allah. Paganism is thus synonymous with heathenism. Paganism as a sociological term should not be used in the context of religion. It is a derogatory term used to distinguish between the religions of the civilized world and the uncivilized races of the world. Many people in the Western world today believe themselves to be atheists, agnostics, or secularists, and they do not acknowledge Jehovah, Christ, or Allah, and yet they are not called pagans. Africans have a real concept of God, and they believe in Him and worship Him, though frequently through lesser spirits. For this reason, it is not only unpleasant, offensive, and derogatory, but also foolish to describe Africans as pagans and their religion as paganism. H. Animism. E.B. Tyler was the exponent of the theory of religion called animism. It is the theory or doctrine of souls and spiritual beings. The word is from the Latin anima, meaning soul. Animism is, therefore, the belief in spirits which have separate and separable existence. There is a sense in which we can speak of animism in West African religion. The religion, like all other religions the world over, has always been groomed in belief in spiritual beings. The Bible says emphatically that God is spirit. Thus, animism as a belief in spirits has always been a concomitant of every religion. But this is distinct from animatism, which is a personalizing of the impersonal, treating impersonal phenomena as if they had or were personalities. In other words, animatism occurs where the active attributes of life, personality, and intelligence are ascribed to inanimate objects. There is no race which at one or other stage of its spiritual climb or development has not passed through the stage of animatism. The fact is that in West Africa, as elsewhere in the world, people believe that spirits reside in material objects, expressing themselves through such objects. Thus being recognized, people regard such objects as sacred, and they are dedicated to the spirits. Thus, throughout West Africa, we have sacred animals, sacred trees, sacred stones, sacred rivers, sacred hills, and sacred spots established everywhere that such spirits have manifested and expressed themselves. The spirits are approached or worshipped through these sacred objects. But to the Africans, the spirits or apparitional entities only temporarily reside in the material objects and are not bound with the objects, since they have separate and separable existence. They can go in and go out and yet have continued existence. The destruction of the material object does not mean the destruction of the spirits. They do not depend on the symbol for their being. West African traditional religion cannot be described as animism. Animism applies to all religions everywhere in the world, as long as it means belief in spirits and recognition of spirits as having separate and separable entities from the material objects symbolizing them. I'm going to stop right there. We just got through reading from the book titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Obasene Ebelelu. And Dr. P. Andalumo, the Penu, will read from the introduction. And we're going to continue our reading. We're going to continue our reading from the book titled African Traditional Religion, a Definition, written by Dr. E. Baloja I. Dogu. And this is the book we just got through finished reading, West African Traditional Religion. And this is the book we're going to read now. And we're reading from chapter 4, The Nature of African Traditional Religion. We're going to continue, we're going to pick back up where we left off. We're reading about animism. From these, he proceeds to the higher deities of polytheism and spells out the process of either their coming into being or how man came to recognize their existence in their various categories and with their variety of functions. As we consider the nature of the great gods of the nations, in whom the vastest functions of the universe are vested, it will still be apparent that these mighty deities are molded on human souls, are modeled on human souls. The higher deities of polytheism have their places in the general animistic systems of mankind. Among nation after nation, it is still clear how man, being the type of deity, human society and government became the model on which divine society and government were shaped. Rudimentary forms of dualism, the antagonism of a god and evil deity, are well known among the lower races of mankind. Their crude, though earnest, speculation has already tried to solve the great mystery, which still resists the efforts of moralists and theologians. Savage belief displays to us the primitive conceptions which, when developed in systematic form and attached to ethical meaning, take place in religious systems of which the Zoroastrians is the type. From this, Tyler passes on to the last object of his survey, those theological beliefs of the lower tribes of mankind, which point more or less distinctly towards a doctrine of monotheism. For this purpose, it is desirable to distinguish the prevalent doctrines of the uncultured world from absolute monotheism, high above the doctrine of souls, of divine man of local nature spirits, of the great deities of class and element. There are to be discerned in barbaric theology shadowings, quaint or majestic, of the conception of the supreme deity, henceforth to be traced onward in expanding power and brightening glory among the history of religion. More frequently, it is the nature worshippers principle which has prevailed, given to one of the great nature deities the precedence of the rest. Hereby, no, no, no reconciled speculation, but by plain teaching of nature, the choice has, for the most part, lain between two mighty visible divinities, the all-animating sun and the all-encompassing heaven. To realize this widest idea, two especial ways are open. The first is to fuse the attribution of the great polytheistic powers into more or less of common personality, thus conceiving that, after all, it is the same highest being who holds up the heavens, shines in the sun, smites his face in the thunder, stands first in the human pedigree as a divine ancestor. The second way is to remove the limit of theological speculation into the region of the indefinite and the inanimate and the innate. An unshaped divine entity looming vast, shadowy, and calm beyond and over the material world, too benevolent or too exalted to need human worship, too huge, too remote, too indifferent, too supine, too merely existent to concern himself with the petty race of men. This is a mystic form of formlessness in which religion has not seldom pictured the supreme thus. Then it appears that the theology of the lower races already reaches its climax in conception of a highest of the gods, and that these conceptions in the savage and barbaric world are no copies stamped from one common type, but outlines widely varying among mankind. Thus far, we have endeavored to put together the salient points of Tyler's long and aptly illustrated treatise. It is hardly fair to say that reading this condensation alone will tell us everything about how his mind worked with particular reference to the subject, or lead us to a full appreciation of his scholarly labor, to the end that he might present an objective and exhaustive study. Enough has been indicated, however, for the purpose of our discussion of animism with particular reference to African traditional religion. It should be observed also that we are avoiding deliberately the fruitless labor of flogging a dead horse with regard to the criticism that have already been made again and again about Tyler's work on animism. We will only observe that with reference to Africa, he is substantially correct in what he says about dreams and visions, the experience of death, the doctrines of other souls, spirits, higher deities, and monotheism. Very often, he exaggerates wittingly or unwittingly, and the inherited language he uses can be rather gross and obnoxious. Furthermore, the graph which he draws of the process of the spiritual and conceptual development of man is too straight and too smooth. In fact, this is the point at which he becomes too academic and disregards the fact of the complex nature of human experience as something which defies chronological tabulation. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, we just got to read from the book titled African Traditional Religion, a definition written by Dr. E. Aloja I. Dowu. And we're reading from chapter 4, the nature of African traditional religion. We're going to continue our reading from the book titled African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. Mbidi. We're going to continue to read from chapter 15, specialists, medicine men, rainmakers, kings, and priests. Okay, we're going to pick up right where we left off. We were still reading from priests. Among some societies, priests serve both God and the divinities, or only the latter. This is in societies which recognize divinities in addition to God, such as the Ankori, Baganda, Ashanti, Yaruba, and others. When people go to make offerings and intercede with God or the divinities, it is the priests that receive them, take and use the offerings, and make intercessions on behalf of the needy. They are the living representatives of their cult. Priests also occupy themselves in non-spiritual matters like hunting, the work of blacksmith, and social activities. Rarely do they remain unmarried, and in some societies, the office of the priesthood is hereditary. Certain standards of social, moral, and ethical behavior are expected of priests. Though this is by no means uniform on the whole, there are men and women of respectable character, trustworthy, devout, obedient to the traditions of their office and to God or the divinities that they serve, friendly, kind, educated in matters of their profession and religion. These are regulations governing excuse, these are regulations governing the moral and spiritual state of priests before, during, and immediately after officiating at formal ceremonies. For example, they may not be allowed to have sexual intercourse, to eat certain foods, to mix with people, or wear certain clothes. Thus, among the Baganda, if one priest died, surviving priest of Makuse, the divinity of the sea, instructed his successor and initiated him into his office. When officiating, these three priests wore the same kind of dress, which consisted of two which consisted of two well-dressed bark cloths, one knotted over each other, over each shoulder. In addition to this, they tied 9 white goat skins round their waists. They shaved their hair, each of the three adopting a distinct pattern. When rolled for duty, people may neither touch them nor draw near to them. Excuse me. Sanjo priests and their families wear only skin garments, and qualified priests wear metal bracelets on the left wrist. Excuse me. We must take note of ritual leaders of different kinds in every African community. Households are generally led and represented by the head of the family, whether male or female, and making family offerings, libations, and prayers. Each community has elders or other recognized leaders who take charge of communal rites, ceremonies, weddings, settlement of disputes, initiations, festivals, rites of passage, rain-making ceremonies, cleansing ceremonies, upkeep of shrines, and sacred objects and places, and appointments or various other functions of the community. These are priestly duties even if the officiating persons may not be called priests in the narrow sense of the word. They are the lay priests and are not on full-time employment. In the strict biblical sense of prophets and the prophetic movement, there are no prophets in African traditional society, as far as I know. I attribute this primarily to the lack of a long dimension of the future in African concepts of time. Though there might be other contributing factors, when this dimension is discovered and extended. Types of prophets also begin to emerge, as witnessed by the increasing number of prophetic leaders of independent Christian sects in Africa. Some anthropologists talk about prophets and describe them in some African societies. These prophets belong to the category of diviners, seers, and mediums, and may have other religious or political functions in their societies. For example, among the newer prophets may perform sacrifices on behalf of individuals or of the people of their neighborhoods in time of sickness, for barrenness, and on other occasions when spiritual aid is required. But the main social function of the leading prophets in the past was to direct cattle raids on the Dinka and fighting against the various foreigners who trouble the North. A prophet is a person who is possessed by a spirit of the earth. Evans Pritchard describes newer prophets as a recent development and having charismatic powers whose virtue resides in themselves rather than in their office. When they speak as prophets, it is spirit which speaks by their lips. Theopneustic speech. The prophet is making his declaration, says, I am such and such, naming the spirit. What the prophet says and what spirit says are all mixed up together, the two being interspersed in such a manner that they cannot be separated. The writer points out that whereas the priests deal only with God, the prophets deal with particular spirits, spirits of the earth or children of God. God does not enter into men and inspire them. We may take another example from the Miru, who have a religious leader known as the Magui. He is described by Bernardi as a prophet. The office and figure of the Magui have mythological origins and are connected with the birth of the Miru as a nation. The old men say that his power came out, originated from the Miru, came out or took their origin. He has hereditary power consistent in great moral virtue. He must be free from all blemishes, both physical and moral, must follow correctly the ancient customs of the Miru, and must start training at an early age. The training is carefully and closely supervised by the reigning Mugwi. He must be sober, kind to all people, and have a happy, happy married life. He acts as judge, prays for the people, blesses them, and curses those who deserve it. It is believed that the Mugwi is in direct contact with God and therefore represents people's needs and requests to God. People describe him as the keeper of tribal medicines, and he also performs as a diviner. He has parental authority supported by sanctions and curses. From these two and other examples, we may conclude that persons occasionally described as prophets do not fit into the strict meaning of their term, though some other functions they may perform, prophetic duties. Those persons play the role of political leaders, diviners, ritual leaders, mediums, and even legal and moral advisors to individuals or communities, as our study of such specialists is far from being adequate. We are not in a position to make more than those brief and passing observations about them. I do not know of prophets in traditional societies who claim to be the prophetic mouthpiece of the supreme God in a manner similar to biblical or Quranic prophets. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, we just got through reading chapter 15, specialists. Specialists, medicine men, rainmakers, kings, and priests. And we're reading from the book titled African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. M. Beatty. We're going to continue our reading, and we're going to be reading from the book titled Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S. M. Beatty. And we're reading from part 4, God and Man. We're reading from number 14, the creation and original state of man. The creation of man from a hole, marsh, or tree. In one of the Akambi stories, it is told that God brought out the first man and husband from a termite hole. In another version, it is narrated that there were two pearls who came out of the hole after God had created them. This hole is supposed to be in Zayu Rock in the central western part of the country. The Yao and other peoples around Lake Malawi believe that the first human being sprang from a hole in a rock, as did also the other animals. Afterwards, the people of God closed up the hole, but it is said to be in the northern part, in a deserted section of the country. Similar myths are told among the Basuto, Shone, Tswane, and others. Among the Zulu, it is said that the hole was in a marshy ground. The Herero believed that God caused the first human beings, Mukuru and his wife, Kamagoranga, to come from the mystical tree of life situated in the underworld. As Bowman has shown, the myths which connects man's origin with trees are widespread from the coast of Angola to the Zambezi region and the smaller areas of the Congo, the Sudan, and elsewhere. In the newer story, it is narrated that the creation of man took place in the western part of their country. At a certain tamarind tree, which was destroyed by fire in 1918, according to one version, men came out of a hole at the foot of this tree, but according to another, they dropped off its branches like fruit. But it was God who created them, making some dark and others pink, some fast and running and others slow, some strong and others weak. God is thought of as the creator and not begetter of men. God brought men out of a vessel. There are not many stories about this concept. The Azandi myth, with its many versions, says that God created all things of this world and put them in a canoe. He sealed out the canoe, leaving only one hole plugged with wax. Then he sent for his sons, sun, moon, night, cold, and stars, and gave them the problem of opening the canoe to discover what it contained. The sun had been shown the secret by God's messenger, and it was therefore able to heat the wax, which melted and let open the hole of the canoe. From this canoe came out men, animals, plants, and other things. In one Chaga myth, it is told that God liberated the first human beings by bursting open a mysterious vessel in which they were locked up, as it were. For this reason, the Chaga referred to him, God who burst out men. In their prayers, they address him as he who burst forth men, that they live. It seems here that it was God who had created and placed them in that vessel, and when he brought them out, he made provision for their welfare. Man made from a leg or knee. A fairly good number of myths describe the concept that men originally sprang from the leg or knee of someone. These are found among the Balube, Iwi, Masai, Nandi, Nupe, and Yanji, and others. In one of the Nandi stories, it is told that mankind sprang from the knee or leg of the first Dorobo man. The leg of this man got swollen until eventually it burst. Then a boy issued from the inner side of his calf, whilst a girl issued from the other side. The two, in course of time, had children, who were the ancestors of all the people upon earth. According to the Iwi and Nup, it was a woman for whom this knee birth took place. But according to the Messiah, it was a man. It must be admitted that those sound like fairy stories, but they are, nevertheless, an attempt to dramatize or express the origin of mankind. I'm going to stop right there. And we've been reading from part 4, God and Man. Number 14, the creation and original state of man. And we've been reading from the book titled Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S.M.B. Before we end today's video, we're going to go back to our learn our languages. And on today's video, we're going to get to our Wolof, our Fulani. We're going to continue to work on our Mandingo, our Bambari, which is a Mandi language. We know that the Mandi language, Dayule, Mandingo, Bambari, and we're getting into the Atlantic languages of the Niger Congo, which is Wolof and Fulani, and another language, Sira. That's another Atlantic Congo language. But we're getting into the Wolof and to the Fulani, and we're gonna also today some of them didn't do not this will be the first time that I ever did something, but I knew about it. We're gonna start getting into the in the African nation of Sierra Leone. African nation Sierra Leone, the Timni. But we're gonna start today, and we're gonna continue from there, and we're gonna continue with our culture. And we're gonna get as many as we can. So we're gonna go to our language now. And we know that the Timni is a male language. It's a male language. And, okay, we on Mansate. We're gonna start with the Mandingo, and we on Mansate, MANSATA .wikifoundry.com. Now we scroll all the way down, where it says greetings, put on there, and say good morning. I say MA. It's good morning. I say MA. Now good day to you. Talo Yidaye. Talo Yidaye. That's good day to you. In English, you say you are well. Anembare, You are well and say thank you. Abaraka. Abaraka. And come in 10 by 9. Now when you say your family, Dembaye, there, Beme, you say father, Febe, child, then Dino, say friend, Terimo, excuse me, Terime. Let's go scroll back up. Some useful phrases. Say yes, no. Okay. Translate a phrase. How are you? I be in Yadi. I be in Yadi. Please, please do carry. Please do carry. Thank you. Abaraki. Abaraki. Thank you. Abaraki. Abaraki. Thank you. Abaraki. Now, in English you say human. In English you say human, but Mandingo, a dame dingo. A dame dingo. Say I inti. My inte. Say no, hey now. Say ours, inte. Thank you. Everybody, everybody read. Everybody rocking. Everybody rocking. To be, kaki. To have, kisoto, we, and tolo. Now say yes. Hey. Say you, ati. Yours, ate. So we're gonna start right there, but that's a good start, and there may be some other places where you may find some places where you continue to work on your Mandingo. But like I said, there's one place, Mansata, MANSATA .wikidfoundry.com. Let's go over here to learn Bambari. One of the places that we was able to find is language 101, Bambari 101. Now, when you say hello any time of day, speaking Bambari, Anisi. Hello, hello, Anisi. How are you? Ake Kimi Way. Ake Kimi Way. Now, that's the one person. Now, when you say how are you to more than one person, what do you say? Ake Kimi. Now, let's make sure we don't get that mixed up. Now, what do you say to one person? How are you to one person? How are you? One person. Ake Kimi Way. Ake Kimi Way. Now, when you're speaking to more than one person, You ask the question, how are you? Okay, okay, Kini, okay, Kini. Now the reply, fine, thank you. Kini Toroti, Kini Toroti. That's what it say. Now there's another one. Now you can say Kini Toroti. You say Kini Toroti, or you can say Koti Tanati. Now if you ask somebody what their first name is, what is your first name? Atogo. Atogo. What is your first name? Atogo. What is your last name? Ajamu. Ajamu. What is your last name? Ajamu. Now say thank you. Anisi. Now when say thank you and you say you're welcome, you say you're welcome. Basiti. Basiti. Now you say yes, Awo. Yes, Awo. No, Aya. Now, when you say excuse me, somebody when you just saying excuse me, Ayi Hakito. Ayi Hakito. When you say I'm sorry, Eyafe Ime. Eyafe Ime. Now there's two ways to say goodbye. Now there's a goodbye, Ke Umbi, then there's a goodbye in form, in Tere. Now, let's say good morning. Let's just say you say good morning, and then be several persons around. Now, say good morning, and you're talking to a whole group of people, a lot of people. Anisa Gome. Na so Gome. Na so Gome. That's good morning to more than one person. Na so Gome. Now, when you're speaking to one person, you say good morning to one person. Na Sagome. Na Sagome. Na Sagome. When you're speaking to more than one person, it's Na Sagome. And when you say good afternoon, Anatali. Anatali. Or Now, as you can see, pay attention. Good afternoon. When you're speaking to a person, more than one, when you say Anatali. When you're speaking to one person, Anatali. When you're speaking to more than one person, it's Natali. Anatali. When you're speaking to one person, it's Anatali. Good evening, same word. So in other words, when you're speaking to more than one person, it's When you're speaking to one person, it's I. And when you're saying good evening, it's Anawale. Anawale. Speaking to one person, Anawale. When you say good night, Anasu. Anasu. When you say good night to one person, Nasu. Anasu. Now when you're saying good night to sleep, there's another word, say good night. Kesuhiri. Kesuhiri. Now that's some more, but we're gonna start right there. Now we're gonna go over to our learn Tosa. That was our Bambari. That's, for all those listening, that's Bambare 101. Now let's go over to the ilanguages.org coast. Let me see. Tell you what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go to vocabulary. Vocabulary. We're gonna start at the very top where the numbers at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, first and second. Now we got the speaker thing, or got the one in you. In ya. 2. Zimbini. 3. Zitatu. 4. Zena. 5. Zintano. 6. Zenatando. What's that? Oh, that was 6. 7. 6. Oh. Stop right there. 7. Hold on, we have to pause for a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. You're going too fast. Hold on. Slow down, wait a minute. Okay, well, I gotta work on that one. Okay, we're gonna move for 8. Suspenso. 8 again. Suspenso. 9. Litoba. Say it again. Litoba. Lishumi. That's 10. Lishumi. 10. Now say first. Okay. That's second. Okwesibni. We're gonna start right now. We're gonna closer vocabulary, and we just did the numbers 1 through 10, first and second. So let's go over here to learn 101.org coast, and we're gonna go over here to the okay. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go over here to learn101.org. The numbers, learn101.org. Coast. We're gonna do the numbers over here. Okay. Number 1. Inya. Now when you say first, then that's okay. Okay. Koala. Try to say that again. Okay. Koala. Number 2, Zimbini. 2, Zimbini. Alright, second. I think that's the Opus Beanie. Alright, say 3. Sentatu. Alright, say third. Acusada. Say 4. Zena. Say 4th. Aquasina. Say 5. Zentano. That's a T. Yeah, that's a T. Zentano. Zentano. Okay, say that was 5. Say 5th. Aquasina. Aquaslano. Wait a minute, say that again. Aquaslano. Alright, 6. Aquasitatono. Wait a minute, no. Say that again. Aquasitatono. I'm gonna have to work on. Okay, 7. This one right here. 7. 7. One more time. 7. Work on that one. Number 8. Opus Bossa. Number 9. Litoba. 9. Augustoba. 10. Lishumi. 10. Oguishumi. Okay, that. Number 10. Number 11. Lishumielani. 11. Number 12. Lishumielishbini. 12. Oguishumi. Okay, 13. Lishumielistatu. 13. Alright, 14. Once, Kanye. Alright, 15. Lishumielishani. Alright, twice. Kabini. 16. Okay, I see it. Okay, let me see. When I stop there. 15. Twice Kabini. And then 16. Lishumi Elelestani. And then let me see. 17. Lishumi is missed that. Every time this number 7 come up. Number 18. Elishumi Elesaboza. Number 19. Lishumi Eletotoba. Let me see. 20. Amashumi Ababini. which is sir, 2071. I'm not sure what's coming now. I'm not sure yet. Alright, 100. Yakun. Yakun. Alright, that was our learn101.org course. Now, everybody that's listening, you can go to Senegal. We're gonna start on our Wolo, learn Wolo lesson 1, and there's a series of videos. So I'm gonna refer everybody that's listening. Go to on the YouTube channel. Go to Senegal Wolo School, and they got a series of lessons 1 through I think it's 1 through 6, 7, 8, something like that. 5, let's see, it's another, something, 6, 7. But right, it's lesson number 7. Let's see how many. Ain't no telling how many it is. And then also there's some other channel, but that's a good start. Is this Learn Wolof, and go to the YouTube channel Senegal Wolof School. Now, when it comes to the Fulani, now I was able to find one. I still have to go look. I'm gonna tell you also a good place for you to look for languages, because the Peace Corps go all around the world. You understand? The Peace Corps go all around the world. You can go to, on the YouTube channels, and you can go find the Peace Corps. And the Peace Corps, they had like language dictionaries and manuals and things in there, because the Peace Corps, like I say, they go all around the world. And so that's another good place for you to be able to look, and you can find some help with your on these varieties, on these various Niger Congo languages. Because like I say, the Peace Corps, they go all around the world. But like I said, on the Fulani, now there was a channel that I found, Learn Fulani Online, Learn Fulani Online. That's a YouTube channel, and it'll introduce you to the Fulani language and things of nature. And it's a series of videos. Hello everyone. And but also there's another good place where you can look. Okay, I'm back again. And it'll help you with not only the Fulani, but on some other languages like Wolof and Bambari. The link is www.languagebeat.com. www.languagebeat.com. And also, in the African nation of Sierra Leone, the largest number of speakers in Sierra Leone is Timne. And Now, if you just want to sit and listen to people speak, on these YouTube videos, you have people who are actually living in Sierra Leone or Mali or even South Africa, all over the continent of Africa. They be on the YouTube and you can hear them speak. And it may not tell you, translate, but you can just sit there and listen to the people talk, and you can hear the people talk. So that's another good way. Like I said, we're gonna get ready to end today's video, and so like I said, in Sierra Leone, the people, the majority of the people speak Timni, Timni, and we're gonna continue to work on our language. We're gonna come back on my next video, and we're gonna continue talking about African traditional religion, and we're gonna continue to work on our Niger Congo languages. Again, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the state of Tennessee, in the county of Shelby. Thank all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. I'll continue to work on my entertainment, my music interest. And till my next video, take care of yourself. Wish each and every one the very best.
Lyrics on the side. Boy, I got the crack. What you saying? What a song? You ain't on the shit, no, you were just an awesome. I'll be trying to make more songs.